We are technically live. Do we have anybody in the chat yet? Probably not, since it's a totally different mic.
You watching anything right now?
Not in this room. That's set up. I temporarily set this up just because I'm working on getting the other room together.
Yeah, I was watching that NYCFC and Atlanta game.
Atlanta decided to show up with like their B squad.
Yeah, that's the deal with MLS. I mean, unless you're playing for something, I don't want nothing to do with you. And Atlanta's got nothing to play for right now. So
technically, they're still questioning whether they're finishing first or second.
And plus, they knew last night Joseph Martinez wasn't going to play. So
yeah. Thought his partner would play, though. I mean, the only guy they really started was Nagby.
right.
And said, yeah, here you go. And I was like, okay, that didn't work. So let's get going here. And just file this in the Discord 3 times. Good, people are retweeting it out. Good, that's what I want.
Were you on anything today?
I was on a bunch of things. I ended up going 4-4. Unfortunately, had a couple rough beats. The Wolves game -1. They called 5 minutes of extra time, and they played till 9 minutes. And there was a goal in the 9th minute.
That's rough.
That's when you look and you're like, really?
Yeah, I had Chelsea -1 first half. Liverpool -1.5.
Yeah, Liverpool won 2-0. I was a little more skeptical on that. I was playing the under on that. So
yeah, and then I had the under on Inter and Lazio.
Well, that cashed. What was it, 1-0?
Yep, 1-0.
Yeah.
And then I was on West Ham. West Ham didn't show up to the match, so.
Yeah, I was in the over in that game, so that came out all right
nice.
for me.
Yeah, nice.
So over 3. However, I thought it was going to be West Ham scoring the goals. I looked up and went, what? All right, let's see. Who do we have? I don't know. Do we have anybody on the chat yet? Oh, because it's not yet set till 10 o'clock. It actually says I'm live, though. All right, here we go. Keep forgetting that we're slightly delayed. All right. As we start here, welcome to Just Chef and the Fox, and of course, the Kegcaster comes in and answers my keg right now. He lost power, so. What do you think we should do, Mike? Should we jump back over there, or?
Yeah, I mean, we might as well jump on over and go through our plays, and I guess once it's broadcast, people can come in and watch it later.
All right. All right, guys, bear with 1 second. We're going to go back to the original link. All right, just while we're doing that and Jay's getting that, we can at least go over real quickly today's MLS plays. Anything you like for tonight?
I'm trying to find a way to get on San Jose tonight. I can get them on right now at 1.66. I'm gonna look for a -1, see if that can. Yeah, we can get the Earthquakes right now at -0.75 on the Asian handicap at 1.9.
Yeah, that's not a bad play.
I think that looks phenomenal right now, considering the way San Jose plays at home. And Philadelphia coming across country, I think that's a good look.
Yeah, that's the thing. I looked at it. I mean, it's been 14 games. They've won 11 of the last 14 at home. 3 draws. They come into this game definitely needing a win. I can't see how they would basically not show up. The draw is probably your only really worry in that game. Don't like anything. Actually, the Galaxy's game's ticked off right now. It's still sitting at 0-0. Any thought on that?
I haven't even looked at that game because I thought the Galaxy were kind of in a tough spot out there in Utah. I was waiting for them to come back home. I haven't even taken who's playing right now. Is all their guys playing? I haven't even taken a look at the line.
Ebro's playing. The play there, but again, they're on the road. They don't play as well on the road.
Yeah.
That's kind of my stay away. It's almost become almost an auto fade. Anytime they're on the road, I've got the stats in front of me. 1 second, but I think they've won like 1 out of the last 8.
That's not good.
Yeah, and it's one of the ways to kind of look at them and say, I kind of go the other way.
And you can get Galaxy to score the first goal at 2.3. If you think they're going to score the first goal. Yeah,
I really would probably think it's the other way around. I'm actually pretty big on Real Salt Lake there.
I've had some pretty good success on Salt Lake unders. They seem to be a good under team.
Yeah, it's definitely a team that I can back, and I have no issues.
Yeah, I agree.
We got a question in the chat that Bob wants to know, essentially, do we like the Timbers -1?
Portland. Let's go look.
Yeah, to me, that was a game. I personally, Bob, it was a stay away game for me. I couldn't really get a good feel on the game. I know they're playing the New England Revolution. New England's a lot better at home than they are on the road, like most teams. New England kind of comes in here limping away. New England's actually one of my sneaky picks that I like this weekend. That we'll look at. I mean, teams don't play that often, so it's kind of hard to look at an historical number. Portland obviously is a home, but they haven't won in their last 3. And one of those was against DC United. To me, it would maybe the under. That would be the only maybe thought I would have. I mean, that's kind of what I would lead to. Portland games at home, especially versus weak competition, generally trends to the under.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right.
Let's see.
Thank you, Max. So you like yelling timber. That's the question. We're up to we got 9 people in the chat. Do we really want to switch over, or we just use the next one next time?
You can get the under on that Portland match at 2.87 right now. It's pretty incredible.
That's pretty. Well, what's the under at? 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, I actually got it on an under 3 at +130.
That's even better.
Yeah. That's definitely not bad. Thank you, Max. Glad you showed up for that. So let's get started. I think we'll just stay in this one. We'll use Jay's next time. There's also possibility, guys. Saturday morning we may go live, so might have a special live show. We'll come through. We got permission to have a live scorecard right on the board like we have. So when we're ready to go, we'll be able to see that, hey, we'll be able to talk that, and we'll also all be able to keep track of any of the games that we're watching. So we will work on the sound and the volume, but we actually could be able to sit there and have a large scorecard brought to us by some of our friends here at Soccer 24. So definitely will be something to look forward to in the end. But let's get to our show today. We've got some plays. Let's try to take a look and just kind of overly discuss what our thoughts are. Please bear with me, guys, as I get used to some of these setups here. All right, Chef, you want to show off? I know you've got some plays for this week in MLS.
Yeah, so we're going to start on Sunday. Game kicks off at 4:30. San Jose Earthquakes against the Seattle Sounders. San Jose, kind of just like we were just talking about, is bet on team at home over the last 15 matches. Losing just one going way back to March 31st, and that was against LAFC, and you can't really fault them for losing to LAFC. I think it's the best team in the MLS up until the past couple weeks, when they just started to take some time off to get ready for the playoffs and have been an absolute shit show since then. But San Jose, they've won 11, drawn 3, but overall, I mean, they've been in pretty terrible form. They've lost 6 of the last 10 overall. They're currently on a 3-game losing streak, which is actually their second 3-game losing streak in a month. They lost 3 earlier, and then they won 2, and now they're currently in another 3-game skid. But they're still fighting for that last playoff spot. And in the MLS, this is the kind of match that I want to be on. They're still fighting for a spot. They still have something to play for. They're not, packing it up. They're still fighting. They're actually kicking off here in about almost an hour here, and that'll be an interesting match to see what happens with that. And I think that'll play into what this line comes out tomorrow. And that's a tricky thing with MLS is the lines aren't going to come out until after these matches end tonight. So we'll be able to post this final line, whatever we can see tomorrow morning. But I'm definitely looking at this match for Seattle and San Jose. Seattle on the road are pretty horrible. They've just won 3 of their last 15, and they don't score many goals away from home. They don't keep any clean sheets. They in consecutive matches. Into this weekend match, despite their poor form, Seattle's sitting second on the table behind LAFC, which is pretty remarkable considering how poor they are on the road. So I'm going to be looking at San Jose. Hopefully, we get a good number tomorrow morning. I'll definitely be posting the play that I'm on. Probably will be looking at the over. I can see Seattle scoring. Definitely see San Jose scoring. Neither one of them keep clean sheets, but I'm going to be looking to back the San Jose team in the spot here. Probably looking at maybe a San Jose and combining it with the over. Probably give us a pretty good number there.
Okay. Yeah, San Jose and the over. Definitely, I could see that at home. It's a solid play.
I mean, you look at the swing here. I mean, San Jose at 7th and Seattle in 2nd place. There's only 6 points separating them. So depending on what happens tonight and what happens this weekend, they could completely flip-flop seeds there. So, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a huge match for these two teams.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. It's definitely a big match. One of the plays I really like is looking at is I like the Real Salt Lake, as we already talked about tonight. I also told you I liked Real Salt Lake this weekend. I think really they get a chance to play 2 games at home. They should have no issue basically taking care of one of this, especially if they come through with tonight's win, as I expect. They're right in a dogfight for third and fourth place. Looking at the setup, they're going to play this weekend. They're going to go against Houston Dynamo, who are just losing to everybody. Constant there. They're just getting beat by 2. That whole team, I think, is quit. I think they've lost 7 in a row. It's one of the reasons I actually took a look at LAFC tonight, -2, just strictly because Houston has been so poor. It's one of the games I'm definitely looking at. 2 games I also kind of like looking at that setup is I like the New England Revolution, New York City. New York City being on the road, New England Revolution need this game. I actually, call me crazy here, but I think a New England Revolution draw no bet is a solid line. I was getting plus money on that. New England Revolution is right on the cusp of the 7th place right now of the playoffs. They are a pretty strong team at home. They've been able to win most of their games versus New York City FC, especially when they're playing at home. They've actually drew once and basically won 3 out of the last 4. So I think they'll be able to take care of business with everything on the line, plus in New York City FC playing tonight. And I think they're going to give pretty much all their all to be able to make that game, because that game might be a make it or break it for them for the playoffs. What's your take on that?
I agree. And going back to the Salt Lake, I think I like that look the best. I mean, Houston's lost 9 of their last 10 on the road, so I think that is a horrible spot for them to go into Salt Lake and try to get a result there. So I think that's probably a really solid look right there.
Yeah, definitely like that. What other MLS game you on? I know you had one more that you were on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Galaxy and Vancouver.
Okay.
Game kicks off Sunday at 4:30. Galaxy, one of the best teams in the league at home. Only behind, of course, we just mentioned Salt Lake at home and LAFC. Galaxy have taken 34 points at home, and Vancouver is one of the worst teams in the league, home or away, period. I mean, they've only grabbed 11 points from the road, and I think this is a horrible spot for the Vancouver Whitecaps to come into LA and try to get a result and get back on track after a draw with Columbus in their last match. I think this is just a horrible matchup, from goalie to goalie, the whole starting 11. Galaxy are going to look to spread the pitch. They're going to look to, get Pavone out wide. That's going to leave Ibrahimovic alone in the middle, and that's just going to be a matchup nightmare for that Vancouver back line. I'm going to be looking Galaxy all the way. I'm probably going to be looking Galaxy 1-0. Galaxy and over. I can see Galaxy running up the score pretty much like they did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely. Galaxy's a different animal at home. I think Ibrahimovic actually cares. He loves the crowd. It's an exciting place to play. But on the road, they just don't give a damn. But at home, they definitely come to play. So as long as there's a good number on there, I definitely would lean LA Galaxy at home. I also kind of would lean the over. If you look at Vancouver, they come in here basically losing 3 straight on the road, where they gave up 3, 4, and 4 goals. I think the Galaxy will be able to get goals, especially as what's predicted is I think tonight that the Galaxy lose. That game becomes way more important for them to be there as we get down to the end of the season. Bob, as we said, the LAFC Dynamo game, I mean, I'd take the -2 with LAFC. I'd lean towards the over as long as it's not like 4. But the one question you have with LAFC is they haven't looked like they've cared in weeks. No. They took off so much of a lead. They got a 13-point lead. They really don't care about playing. But I even think their B squad will come out and beat the Houston Dynamo, because I think they even care even less. Definitely looking at that. I know you had your show. You had a couple thoughts. Did you look at the Bundesliga at all?
I have not looked at that yet. I mean, we could take a look at it. I can pull it up. We can take a look if you have some looks.
Yeah, the one look I would get, because the line's been moving all night. When I first took a look at this, was Leipzig. Leipzig is by far really wanting a challenge for that second or third spot in the Bundesliga. Their defense is unreal. I think they've given up a total of 3 goals all year. They're winning at home. They're winning on the road. The one thing I will caution anybody to say before we get to the other leagues, anybody who has a Europa or a Champions League game next Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whatever you would normally bet on that team over the weekend, half it. That's just my general rule. You're going to see lineups that are not the typical lineups. So even though we could come through right now on Wednesday and say, this is the one I want to go with, this is a great bet, this is a great look, next thing I know, I've got a U23 lineup showing up on the pitch. It's definitely something to consider. Checking lineups, especially this weekend, sometimes before making some plays. It's very smart. I think Liverpool is one of the lineups that comes up. Will be a very different lineup than what you normally see. I think Divock Origi starts. I think you're probably going to see Firmino in the starting 11. That's one thing to look. But the one thing I do like about Leipzig, though, whether it's their first string or their second string, they play defense, and they can play defense whatever. As long as Timo Werner ends up in the starting 11, which I think he will, is because he personally has come out and said he's trying to win the Golden Boot for the league. So I can't really see them benching him. You can get a Leipzig -1 at -110. It was a money line of -155, but last time I looked, it was about -185 for Leipzig this weekend. Other kind of look that I looked at the Eintracht game on Friday. Eintracht versus Union Berlin. To me, people have heard me say I think Eintracht is toothless, but are they that toothless? Essentially, that means they can't score against Union Berlin. I think they definitely can score. Wouldn't surprise me, though, if they concede as well. They're not really a great defensive side. I can think you right now, one of the looks I can have, you can maybe put a quarter unit, is Eintracht and both teams to score at +260.
I like that. And I like the Leipzig look. I would just like you said, the lineup situation with them having European commitments the next week. Schalke, they're an all right team. They're pretty good on the road. They haven't lost in their last 10 on the road. So I would definitely take a look at that. Leipzig has some injuries. Tyler Adams is out.
But Adams has been out for a while. He's missed like the last 3 or 4. Yep.
Yeah, I would always like, Tyler Adams to be in there, but hopefully he gets healthy soon. But yeah, I like that look. I like the Eintracht look. They're obviously not going to keep any clean sheets anymore with them losing so many key guys, especially on that back line. So I would not disagree with either one of those.
Yeah. Let me do it. Looking forward, did you get a chance to look at the Premier League at all?
I glanced over it. I usually don't start looking at the weekend matches until tomorrow. I usually try to look at the opening lines on Monday morning, but I won't typically start breaking the games down until tonight or tomorrow. But just glancing over it, I don't see Sheffield United giving Liverpool any problems.
No, I kind of like it. There's a Liverpool at over 2.5 at -125.
Yeah, Liverpool's lineup today indicates that they're going to play their starting 11 this weekend, and I don't think Sheffield United will be able to stop them.
Yes, I can't see it. I could even see Sheffield United, though, helping out that over 2.5, though. They could be a little pissed coming off this weekend.
I could see Chelsea rolling Brighton.
Do you believe in this Chelsea team? Do you believe they consistently score?
I would only take them at home. I would only take them at home. They're not gonna go into someone else's house, I don't think, and run up to score like they did today too many times in the Premier League. I mean, that scoreline today was just ridiculous. I don't see that happening too many times. But Brighton's a relegation side, and I think they can get 3 on their own, even without their main guys in there. They didn't have their main guys in there today, so I think most of them will play this weekend, and then their Champions League game shouldn't be. I think it's on Wednesday, so they'll have plenty of time to get their rest and be ready for that match on Wednesday in the Champions League.
Yeah,
I like Wolves and Watford. I think that's an over game all the way.
I actually like the talent that the Wolves show on the field, but that talent hasn't figured out how to score yet.
Right.
That's my worry. And if you look at their last couple games at home, 3 of the last 5 are overs, but those were kind of one of those games was Reading today. Today you had Chelsea, and then the other was Torino. So I mean, if you go into EPL, they're 1-1 with Burnley, 1-1 with Manchester United, and then back with where's the last game? Yeah, I don't think they've played an over game at home yet this campaign yet. That's my only question with them. I know Ant's one of his favorite plays is Wolves under. Is kind of one of his go-to plays.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he cashes with that. I mean, definitely the home games, they tend to not score as much. It's surprising considering the talent they have on the field. But let me get over. I know you've got to play in Greece.
Yeah, this is pretty remarkable on the line that I took on this. I took it last night when we were talking about this. This game kicks off Saturday at 9:30. Olympiakos versus Lamia. This is your basic David and Goliath match here in Greece. I'm gonna throw these out. You tell me who wins this match. Okay, Team A, 58% possession, 18 shots attempts, 10 shots on goal, and 102 dangerous attacks. Okay, Team B, 42% possession, 0 corner kicks, 1 shot attempt, 1 shot on goal. Who would you think won that match?
You'd assume it was Team A, but I'm guessing the one Team B shot on goal went in.
It absolutely was, and it was actually coincidentally Olympiakos' last home loss was to this Lamia team, and it was their only loss at home, and probably I think it was close to almost 2 years. 1 home loss, and it was to this team. So I'm expecting Olympiakos to come home and be pretty pissed off at this Lamia team. We don't really talk revenge factor too much in soccer. That's really for other sports. I hear a lot of the cappers use the revenge factor, but the revenge factor in this match is real. I think Olympiakos is going to come in here pissed off, and I took -2 at 1.95. I think this is just an absolute slaughter coming.
So you think they're going to come in there, beat the pants off them, and then come back 3 days later, fly out to Red Star, and then play a full squad? My only question is, what squad are they bringing?
I couldn't really tell you. I was on Olympiakos against Tottenham. I've seen a lot of people grabbing Tottenham. I figured,
Yeah.
a lot of people are taking Tottenham because they've never heard of this Olympiakos team probably, so they're just grabbing Tottenham. But I had Olympiakos draw double chance. Sorry, I had them draw double chance at 1.95 against Tottenham, and when Tottenham went up 2-0, it was kind of shaky, but they battled back just like they do at home, and they got that draw. So they came out of it with a point. I think they were happy with that. So next match against Red Star is anyone's guess how they come out. I think they were happy to come out of there with a point.
Yeah, it's most people who go to anytime go to play Red Star are happy to have a point. Red Star is a tough team, especially at home.
That's a tough place to go.
I will say one of the early looks for that, I would definitely lean under, especially if they're going to have a game. They're playing a game Saturday in Greece and then turn around. Got to get there by Tuesday. You got flight, you got travel, you got guys who might have been playing 2 games in a row. Red Star doesn't really light up the scoreboard. Olympiakos normally doesn't light up the scoreboard. I would definitely I would lean under, as long as it's like under 2.5 and you're not getting like an under 2.
I have a feeling you might see it too.
Yeah, sometimes you do, and those kind of just bite you in the ass because you're like, they can get lucky and get 2 goals.
Right.
Those are always the ones that.
Even Liverpool had a problem going to Red Star last season in Champions League. It's a tough place to go.
Yeah, it's definitely one I don't like. One of the looks I like is going to the Finnish League, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this league name because I will definitely have it. The Vagkakoslaga Liga thing. I might do an ant and just like say my own name, whatever I feel like talking about. But one of the games there is a team called KUPS. KUPS is leading the league. Finland is on a different schedule than most people right now, so they take their team group and they separate it into 2. What a lot of your smaller countries do. So you have a championship league that plays the end of the year, and then you have a relegation type league that plays the rest of the half the year. So that way, when the championship league is going on, only the top 6-7 teams that are solid essentially are playing each other. And then the relegation is there, and then I guess you're having a fight to see who finishes and wins the division. KUPS is, I love this team right now. So KUPS is going to turn around and play an Ilves team. They have owned them when they've played them. They have basically won, I believe, 4 of the last 5 that I looked at. The ones at home, they've won every game since 2017. I think they're going to win this game 1-0, 2-0, somewhere around that range. It's a great win right now. You're getting great price on it at -125, and that's the key thing. You're getting a solid team at home in the beginning of the championship group at a solid price. I definitely favor that, and that's one of my looks this weekend. Keep in mind, guys, we're definitely listening to the questions and comments that you're putting in the chat, so definitely keep it going. I know we talked about essentially, Bob, if you can get 2.5 in the Olympiakos game, you're looking at for this weekend's game, or is that for you're getting an early line for the championship game?
Yeah, the Champions League game right now is under 2.5 at 1.8. You can get right now.
Yeah, I definitely would lean that way. I definitely think it's going to be a hard type 1-to-1 type deal. The only other play I would look to have, you don't want to get on the goals market. Are they giving you draw no bet or double chance?
You can get a draw double chance on. Yeah, they're not good prices. A draw double chance on Red Star is 1.53. Draw double chance on Olympiakos 1.4.
Yeah, either of those would be a hard pass for me at those numbers.
Yeah.
One of the other games I looked at, I know you just had your. Did you take a look at the La Liga yet?
No, I have not.
One of the games that jumped out to me was Betis on Friday at over 2.5, -130. Betis seems to be coming in, kind of limping in right here. Their last couple of games, kind of conceding goals and scoring goals at the same time. I definitely think that's definitely a good look. You're playing a Villarreal team on a Friday. I don't think we're really going to get anybody really sitting, except Fekir is questionable. That's the only guy you're really looking at. The last couple matches for Betis Villarreal is 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 3-1, 0-1. You're giving me an over 2.5. at a decent price at minus 130, I'm all over it. I think they're definitely, both teams are going to be able to come out here and try to put goals up. And like I said, Betis right now is not conceding. Two teams that are right next to each other. That's really why I don't want to go really on the winners market, but I look at the goals over 2.5 would be the play.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. That's a pretty solid bet. I usually try to stay away from Friday matches. Fridays aren't too kind.
Well, everybody knows my albatross is Tuesdays, and that's normally because I'm betting championship game matches, and that's just throw that coin up in the air some games, and you're like, oh, that team's gonna win huge.
Yeah.
0-0. Are you kidding me? That's one of the things. Last kind of play that I was kind of looking at that I'm on, then I'll take any questions in the chat that's there. Thank you guys for joining us on our normal show. I know we had up to 18 people in here. Normally we're going to be on the KEDcast YouTube going forward. We just had a slight power outage from the KEDcast, which enabled us just to have to go onto my particular live stream. But those of you who know I've been on this for a while. Plazan's going to play Sparta Prague on, I believe it's Sunday. Both teams are scoring goals. Both teams could get over 2.5 by themselves. They're giving an over 2.5 at minus 120. We hit last week with Sparta Prague, with Slavia Prague, and that really wasn't ever really in doubt on that game. Plazan's one of those teams that's just been scoring goals, putting the ball in the back of the net whenever they needed to. I think you're going to get the same process. They also have a big Europa game on Thursday, but I think you're going to have plenty of days for them to catch up. So that's definitely a look that I would look at, guys, right now. I will open it up to the chat if there's any particular questions. All right, Doug's giving us a great to see this. We appreciate that. Thank you. It definitely, the goal will definitely be to be out here to continue the show on Wednesday nights. We have one of the things we found the issue though slightly on Wednesday night is this: we don't get a lot of the lines on Saturday and Sunday. So there's other games I'm looking at, but right now I'm kind of guessing what I think the line will be. So I can only kind of give you what I can see with the line. One guys I'll obviously know, South Korea. A lot of you cashed on it today. If you haven't figured it out, kind of a little best kept secret. And I know some of you are going on South Korea. Really? Why? How am I betting on South Korea? How in the world do I see this on South Korea? There's a team called Olsen Honda. Olsen Honda is the best team in that league. They love scoring goals. Anytime you can get them under 3 on the goals, take it. Over 2.75, over 2.5. It's almost an auto play. They've scored over 60 goals already this year. Only conceded 29. So you're getting over 2.75. They get 2 goals in itself. They're conceding at least 1 every game too. So the law of averages just tell you they're just winning. And for some stupid reason, you start getting some money lines where you're getting like minus 125. Minus 125 for a team that has 63 points in 30 games. That's another almost auto play. Anytime you can get them at a number under minus 145, I would take them. Or if you just want to do a nice little ACA or parlay in the morning and you want to have that feed go to that wake up and cash money, throw them in the beginning of the money, wake up in the morning. By the time you get there at 8 o'clock, the game's generally like 5:30, 6:30 Eastern time. They cash so many single times. So it definitely would be one to look at. They're playing Seongnam. The last time they played Seongnam, Seongnam, they actually destroyed them. They beat them 4-1 away. Now they get to play them at home. And they're giving you right now kind of an over 2.75. It's one of the ones I would get on if you haven't looked at it yet. Olsen Honda. Just like the car. So a couple thoughts I also had kind of there. I'm still waiting on a line. Copenhagen for Silkeborg in the Danish Superliga. Copenhagen's not the same team that they were in years past. They lost a bunch of good players. Robert Skov leaving and going to Hoffenheim kind of really lost their two consistent scorers. Their two young guys that they thought they'd be able to come up and play are both been hurt, Jonas Wind and Ndoye. Both of them basically makes that team a little bit lack a lot of firepower, but you're still getting teams come out there and they're giving you a 4. Right now the line, I believe, in Copenhagen is 3.5. The only problem I have is they're playing a team that just absolutely blows on defense. Silkeborg comes in here as, I believe, in last place, giving up 27 goals in 10 games. But Copenhagen has a big Europa game next week. I think the under 3.5 is the play. You can get it at plus 110 last time I looked. That's one of the ones I'm definitely looking at. Anybody have any other thoughts? Geraldo has got a question in the chat for you. He wants to know what kind of other soccer leagues are you looking at?
I typically stay on the main 5, the top 5 leagues, obviously. I mean, I don't really want to go too much into Serie A and Europa. I mean, we have to talk about those shows already, so I didn't want to, talk about the same stuff. I want to give you guys different looks. I go down, Switzerland, Denmark, Croatia is a big league I like to bet in. Greece, Portugal, Turkey's a good league to be in.
Don't you find with Turkey there's basically 3 teams you like, and then it's under? Once you figure out who Galatasaray are, Bakashir, and the one that starts with an A that I have no chance to pronounce, but they score goals, Anaka Takasafar.
Right.
Everybody else is basically under. That's kind of what I found. We also have a question on the chat. Kassan Magic wants to know Celta Vigo versus Espanyol under 2.5.
Would not argue with that. Celta Vigo, neither one of those teams are going to score goals. What's the line on that real quick?
Well, I think the one thing you got to look at that get is Aspas playing. Because when Aspas plays, they can score goals. He hasn't been in the same form he was in last year, but I know he was hurt. And then they had a couple games from stupidity where they got like 3 red cards and were playing with 8 players, but Aspas was still trading chances with 8 guys. I mean, if you look at their last couple of games in the Liga, they scored 0 goals. They scored 0 goals with Atletico Madrid. They scored 0 goals with Granada. They scored 1 goal versus Sevilla, 1 goal versus Valencia, 1 goal versus Real Madrid. I mean, if you're getting under 2.5, unless you really like this Espanyol team, and I only like this Espanyol team in the Europa League. As a La Liga side, they kind of suck. 3 goals scored all year, 9 goals conceded. I mean, that's the only thing that could kill you is just bad defense.
And you usually find that in La Liga.
Yeah. But the under 2.5 definitely has a play. It's definitely something to kind of take a look at. Just give a quick update. I can take that off the screen.
Are you watching the Galaxy match right now?
Kind of. It's in the background. Why? What's your thoughts on it? What do you see? I know it's still 0-0.
Yeah, I mean it's early. It just started, but you can get. I don't see Galaxy. I'm sorry, LAFC. I don't see them scoring a ton of goals here, and Houston Dynamo is not really gonna pressure them at all. They're pretty much already on the beach. You can get live right now under 3.5 at even money. It just dropped actually. It was at 2.1.
You're looking at the LAFC game, not the
LAFC.
Galaxy.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Carlos Vela's playing, right? of what I can see. It looks like he's playing. Looks like Rossi's playing. Blessing's playing.
Yeah.
How in the world have they not scored? And actually, the LA Galaxy just scored.
They did.
Just made it 1-0. So, guys, if you look, here's Soccer 2-4. This is kind of our thought with the live show. You can see right there. A little red dot shows up there that those of you use Soccer 2-4, and you see right away that we've seen that the LA Galaxy have indeed scored. Have set up. So what our thoughts I have in our live show, this is kind of one of the ways we would have it set up so you guys could all stay intact with the standings. We could be able to look. We can look at what live options we have. If we see a team that's going for a lawn that we're high on, that's still at 0-0 or anything like that, any live opportunities that we have, we'll be able to see it. So any other questions in the chat?
I was just saying, too, Galaxy first goal.
Yeah, but you were on the LAFC we were talking about, right?
No, I remember about maybe 20 or so minutes ago we were talking about it. At Galaxy,
we were talking about that number before we went live. Yeah, Galaxy first goal. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised right now that Real Salt Lake, who has more shots on goal from them, but the second half has been all Galaxy. Since they came at the break, Galaxy's got 68% possession, 3 goal attempts, 2 shots on goal, 1 shot off goal, where the Real Salt Lake has 32% possession and 0 shots or attempts. They need to get their act together and get me this win. I don't like it that the Galaxy was able to pull them forward, especially at the 52nd minute. This is a game I would have expected them to win, being at home. And the Galaxy haven't won in forever. And Real Salt Lake hasn't lost in 14 straight matches. But they still could get a draw, which would not be good for us, but they could actually still get a draw. One of the things also kind of looking at, if you guys are looking at Mexican Premier League, if you haven't been paying attention, Pachuca is going over in almost every single game. It's something to kind of put on your radar. They're giving you low prices for a team that right now just doesn't want to play any defense. As I can see, they just want to keep giving up goals. Their last game was 4-2. The game before that was 4-1, then 2-2, then 2-2 for that. So, I mean, you're talking 5 of the last 7 have went over. Some of those were solid opponents, some against weak opponents. So they're scoring goals and conceding. That's my favorite underlook. And why is the book still giving you over 2.5? That's definitely a play to kind of look at kind of going forward. They will eventually correct themselves, and you'll start seeing a bunch of 3s. But you don't normally see a lot of 3s in Mexican soccer. So definitely take advantage of that 2.5. And Bob's got a thing about Geraldo took under 3.5 in the LAFC game. That's a good job, yeah. Ramon's got, I don't know, Ramon, are these your plays or are these your questions in the chat? He's got revolutions and yes. I think they're saying revolutions and both teams to score. Yes, when we talked about that earlier, we definitely could see that. Revolution is not as good on the road as they are at home. However, we talked about Portland Timbers. We were kind of thinking the under 2.5 was probably the better play. Real Salt Lake and LA Galaxy over. Well, that doesn't look really good, but hopefully that'll come through for you, Ramon. Both teams to score. Well, you got a chance on that.
Do you think the Galaxy are going to score another goal, or do you think we can see a draw here? Do you think Salt Lake can equalize?
And Galaxy are still pushing forward, so they're definitely not trying to live off a 1-0 lead. I don't think they could live off a 1-goal lead.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, the books are still giving you Galaxy full-time money line at 1.72. I would have thought that would have been at least around 1.6.
So you're up a goal, and they're giving you a 1.72 money line.
Right.
That's worth a play.
That seems too good to be true. Yeah.
Well, the question is, one that you've always said, the Galaxy has the talent. They just haven't cared. They put on minimal effort on the road. If this is a game where their coach got in their hair and said, "Hey, you're running out of games. You only got
two left.
Two left, and you're sitting in the playoff spot, but technically you're only up at between them and 7th place." They're probably secure on that, but I mean, between them and the 5th place is 4 points. That's where I kind of thought Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake only has a 2-point lead on them in 7th place. Definitely thought they'd come out there at home, been a strong team at home, and be able to get this win at home. But right now, we do not see it. So let me see what I can get real quick here. LA Galaxy.
Yeah, it just dropped to 1.66.
Yeah, I've seen a 3-way at minus 333.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wait, I'm an LAFC. That's why. Sorry. LA Galaxy. I see a Salt Lake plus 300. I see a money line. That's drawn no bet. Yeah, minus 154. That's not bad. Not that bad. Too bad. Up a goal. I'm fine with that. That pretty much guarantees it's going to end in a draw. But yeah. And anytime I take a live going one way, it's like, yeah, I guarantee it's going to happen. Happens in football all the time. Yeah, team's up by 10 points. No way did they lose this. Oh, crap. Yeah, we get through. So Ramon's already made a bunch of plays. Jonathan Nelson has got a question in the chat. Wants to ask us basically, what do we think of Man City in the over 2.5 versus Everton? So the backup Man City squad, are you liking them this weekend?
No. I think they're going to focus their efforts on the Champions League. I could see a road. I mean, even their B squad can score goals, but Everton's going to keep it tight. I mean, they're not going to want to get blown out by City. But I still think Everton's going to keep it too tight. I mean, you could probably see a 2-0 type of match. I don't think Everton can score on City.
Yeah, I question who Everton has, who I thought was actually going to be their goal scorers. I mean, it's basically you're really expecting a whole lot from Iheanacho. And I don't see him beating premier defenses one-on-one on a consistent basis.
No.
So,
no.
All right, we're getting close to 8 minutes left. Does anybody have anything else? Typically on our normal first show, we wanted to keep it a little light. We're probably normally going to have at least anywhere between 3 to 5 plays each week. We're always going to have a point of them to open it up to the chat to be able to take any of your questions. Obviously, we can talk about the major leagues, but this is also a chance where I kind of pride myself looking at some of the more obscure leagues, obscure only in like the public knowledge, but a lot of good value. I mean, we've been winning a lot with France Ligue 2. We've been winning a lot with the Danish Superliga, the Sweden Alveskendan, which I'm sure I butchered that name, but I keep cashing. That's perfectly fine. We cashed with Hammerby -1 today. We cashed with AIK today. Those were all cashers that were good. The Eredivisie is basically right now about 2 teams. Yes, Ramon, there was a glitch on the KEDcast. Please don't subscribe to this channel. We're going to be back on the KEDcast on our next broadcast going forward, but we didn't want to miss our window. We wanted to give a chance to have our show, answer any of your questions that I know a couple of you guys said you had. So definitely look for subscribe to the KEDcast. That's where we're going to be going forward. Me and Mike will talk. Like I said, we might be back Saturday, doing a live show Saturday morning, up bright and early. Since Mike says he gets up like 4 a.m.
It's the best time to start capping. It's quiet.
Yeah, if you've got a family, I definitely can understand that. So yes, that definitely goes well. I definitely have a bunch of more games, a bunch of different looks. So
Yeah, real quick. I think heading down to Belarus, Bate Borisov taking on Neiman. Bate's a bet on team, especially when they're at home. They haven't lost at home in quite some time in league. They lost a club friendly, but who really cares about club friendlies? Last time they lost in league was back in April, it looks like. And Neiman, pretty terrible on the road. They've lost, it's like 6 of their last 10. I think that's a good spot to be in on Bate Borisov.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, you look at Bate's last, and it'll be the first time they played this year, but they won 1-0 and 2-0 last year, the year before, 3-1 and 4-0 the year before, 7-1. I start to notice a trend. Bate's also coming into this play as hasn't lost a game, as you said, at home since June, and that was just a friendly. As you stated, I mean, you're winning 9 out of their last 11 with 2 draws. So, yeah, it's definitely a look. What's the number you're getting on that?
Not seeing one at the moment.
I mean, that would be the only question is what is the actual number on they're having on that?
You would have to probably lay a good couple goals.
But a lot of people know I don't lay big numbers typically. Anybody who's seen me on Capper Investment Soccer Chat in the Discord knows that I will generally take a -1 or -1.5 before I'll lay a number. I may put them in a parlay or an ACA at a big price, but for the most part, I'm just going to take the goals spread there and be able to cover it and still be able to take the team. So, yeah, I definitely think that's a good one as long as you're not getting over 3 or something like that. It'd probably -1 or -1.5. I think I would definitely be all over that.
Yeah, I might probably look towards a halftime, full time, something like that.
See, and I don't get most of those exotics. That's why I'll let you know some of the guys in the chat. I don't normally bet what I call exotics because I only get basically those exotics in the major leagues and in the books I'm getting them. So if Serie A, La Liga, and really the Premier League. I don't get it in the Liga and I don't get it in the Bundesliga. So you won't see me a lot of times take a halftime, full time, or what I call a cheesy bet, which is an over 1.5 goals. You'll never hear those words come out of my mouth unless the line is actually 1.5, which is almost like a blue moon, but for that to actually happen. Most of the time you'll see me, I'm taking the totals, I'm taking the goals market. Definitely in my record, everything is all black and white. It's all on the Discord. Anybody that hasn't been to the Discord, definitely tell you that you're coming out. See it looking on my Twitter handle, Sean's Fox Plays. You can be able to see any of my picks that I make in the Discord. Well, Mike, we're right about out of time. Tell the guys where they can find you. Tell the guys where they can see any additional plays or any picks or reach out to you.
Yeah, and of course, guys, send some questions to our Twitters. You can find me at Chef Michael 1128. Send some questions, early next week if you want us to cover any games and try to break them down. And you can always check out, I do the odds market shows for Serie A and Europa League. Come check those out and you can see those plays. Just wanted to get some different looks on our show here, break down some lower leagues and some MLS. I know most of the time when we're in the sports keg chat, some people are asking about MLS or giving their takes on MLS. So hopefully we can answer some of those questions, especially we got the cup playoffs coming up, but that's going to be an exciting run. It's going to be some lower teams that haven't really seen some playoff exposure, and I think it's going to be an exciting run.
All right, sounds good. Well, like I said, guys, leave us any comments, any materials, what you want us to go over in the future. Thank you all for joining. I'm Sean, a.k.a. The Fox, Capper Investment Soccer Guy. That is the chef, which we call Michael. Thank you all for joining. See ya.
See you guys.